Howdy y'all, hope y'all doing good. I'm a little bundled up today. I'm kind of running low on wood and I can't find any wood around here. Go figure, right? So, anyway, it's not too bad out tonight. It's kind of warm. So I just had the electric heater going, had the ceiling heater, and well, it's doing alright. It's not too bad. So, well, we're starting tonight, as you see, we're doing some port work on NickPixel saw, finally. So, I'm not going to go too crazy on it, can't really do too much with the numbers, really, but we're doing a lot of work to the transfers, opening up the exhaust ports a little bit, making a smoother transition with the airflow. I have my earbuds in, so we can, so I don't go deaf. This thing can get a little loud sometimes. All right. So I'm not going to go too much into detail. Went a lot of detail into the home light. That part work on that. So if you want to go into more detail with port work, you can hop over and look at the port work. It's in the playlist. The whole project's in a playlist, but you can also scroll down and see that there's some port work on the home light, and then you can take a look at that. Alright, so we had the exhaust here. So as you can see, this is a round hole here, and if you look on the inside, I kind of see it. I do have my light over here. So, as you can see on the inside, they're square. So, going from square to round, there kind of takes these corners up in all four corners, and there's like not a smooth transition of airflow, so it kind of creates a wall. So we're going to go in there, smooth all those out, and try to get a nice smooth transition of airflow coming out. wanted to kind of show you, getting a little bit of an idea here of what I'm doing. Okay. Basically, oh, that just kind of blinds it out there. So basically, what I'm doing, as you can see, taking that circle and moving it outward to where the base, where the gasket here, or the muffler, I think it's just the muffler, no gasket, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. But I'm taking those corners down and taking that restriction out. And it's just one smooth transition into the cylinder, or coming out of the cylinder, really. Just real smooth. So that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm doing. So, and then we're going to work on transfer. So, I'm going to finish this up. So now you got a little bit of an idea. I'm going to finish all the other corners, and I'll bring you back and show you what I'm doing to the transfers. Alright folks, so I went through, opened it all up, and I chamfered, I like to chamfer all my sharp corners, inside and out. Well, when you chamfer, you gotta be extremely careful, because use a round tip, a little ball. Now when you do that, you gotta be very careful. Even the experts can goof that one up. So I made a little boo-boo, but it's on the outside, and it's the surface. It's not really deep. Actually, it's hardly deep at all. It's just a little shiny. That's all. So as you can see, I opened it all up. This side's a little goofy. It's not very straight. That's just the way they drilled the hole, and they drilled it a little off center, so it kind of dug into that side just a tad bit. So everything else came out fairly straight, so not too bad. But you can see how it was round. Now it's square. Now it matches the port on the inside of the jug coming out, and it's all a smooth transition. See if I get a light on there. See how everything's all nice, smooth transfer through the to the outside. Yep. So that right there will improve a whole lot. That'll allow that less restriction coming out. Now we're going to work on the transfers on the inside. Okay. See if I get a pixie in there. Try this. Alright, you see, you got the 3 transfers, 3 on each side. So we're going to go ahead and smooth out. Let's see if I can hold this here. Oh, there we go. So we're going to smooth out the bottom coming out. And you can see I've done one already. So I brought it almost to the very end of the bottom of the jug there. Now the hardest part is trying to get through that plating. But once you get through that plating, it's going to be pretty soft. That plating is pretty hard. So we're going to take this second one, we're going to bring that back out almost to the very end. And the third one that's way up in there, we're just going to bring down just a tad bit. Okay, just enough to smooth it out. So we're not getting too crazy on that one. Alright, so I'll finish this one side, and then we can compare both sides once I finish one side and then the other. Okay, so I'll bring you right back. I figure I'll drum a little bit here for you. So I'm going to be really careful. We're not doing a whole lot to this. We don't want to go outside of the transfers. We're just going to keep that channel nice and smooth. There you are. Hi. So we're going to keep that transfer nice and smooth and just taper it right out. That's all I'm doing. Just so we get a nice smooth transfer back up to the piston. So, gonna grab my little light here. Alright, let's see if I give you a little bit of an idea here. So you can see those transfers we're just making a nice smooth ramp. Pretty much all we're doing. And you can see the difference between this side and this side. Okay? Quite a bit of difference, but it's just a smooth, light, smooth ramp. That's all it is. That's all we're doing. That will help with the increase of airflow and nice smooth transfer of the air. Okay? I'm gonna have to switch over my tooling and get down that middle one. Has a little bit of drop to it, so I'm gonna have to switch my tooling so I can get down in there a little better and make another smooth ramp. Alright, folks, I'll bring you back to show you at the end what I come up with, and then that's just the rough cut. That's just the beginning, really. Okay. This is just the hard part. Next is polishing. I like to use a gridded rubber bit, a rubber piece. It looks a lot like the tooling here. It's got a cone shape, and it's just a green rubber, but has grit in it, and it works really, really, really well in smoothing everything out and making it easier to smooth. If I'm wording that right. Yeah. Well, it's like sandpaper, pretty much. Except for it's put on this, and it's small, and it's cone shaped, and I get in there and smooth all the rough cuts that I made with this. This is a double cut burr tooling. I believe that's what you call it. It's not the single cut, it's the double. It's the double. It's a little more advanced. I would suggest what it does is it's more aggressive, so it takes off more faster. So if you're starting off porting, go with a single cut, single blade, so it doesn't look like this. It's just, I don't have any here because I've been using these things for a very long time. So in order to get used to this Dremel, you need to practice a lot on not just jugs. You work on other stuff. So a single one will cut less in a slower speed or a slower rate. That way you get used to your hand coordination. Okay, that makes sense. So other than that, folks, yeah, I'll bring you back, show you the finished product, and that's it. That'll be it for the night, because it's pretty late. I just woke up in my chair, so so I came out here and like, oh, you know what? I want to port that. It's been sitting there antagonizing me. I already know what I want to do now, and it needs to get done. And then I'm on to some other different stuff, folks. Making a couple dog spikes for, actually I'm making a template and send it out to John Hudson. We'll get that out to him so he can get his dogs made up for him. As well as we have to make another 1010 dog like we made for Tasman, and that's going out to Mr. Pillpock. So busy. Yep. And then we have a couple X projects coming up. Shoot, do have another saw to get into, but I'm gonna wait a little bit on that and see what the future entails. And then we can finally, once this is done, we can finally put the saw together, and guess what? We get NickPixel, that 1010. Yes, very exciting. Alright, folks, I'll be back. Alright, folks, I'm back now. Alright, I'm done. Alright, so, where's my low light? There it is. Okay, so, showed you the exhaust. Yeah, my little surface boo-boo. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Won't hurt it none. So, the exhaust, that is done. My light's dying. Hey, that's a good thing. It won't be so bright. So the exhaust is done, inside and out. I chamfered all the edges. Excuse me. Alright. I did forget to chamfer the inside edge of the intake. Alright, so there we go. Here I'm looking into the camera. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I cannot get a good light on there. There we go. Alright, so you can see, smooth out the transfers, and I smooth them right out. And I only went a little bit on that little one, the third one there. Okay, and I went pretty close to the edge. Not all the way. But you can see. Just kept the, profile of the transfers coming down. And, just made a nice smooth ramp coming down. That's all I did. That right there will increase the saw quite a bit. So it will be a nice smooth running saw for sure. Okay, and I did that to both sides. Both sides are done. And I ran over my finger, nice and smooth, super smooth, super smooth. Yes, I'm very pleased with this. I am very pleased and very excited to get this thing running. Okay. Oh yeah, exhaust is good. Just the intake. Intake's actually already got one. Yes, it does. Not even do. Oh, you know what? I did do that, but I did that by hand file, little by little. So next thing is I am going to run a light hone through it. Okay. I have special hones, which this one I have somewhere, but it's called a ball hone. Okay. I do have a bigger one that I want to show you. And it's this one here is for my motorcycle that I'm rebuilding the engine on the motorcycle of my old 1980 Suzuki. Okay, so this is a ball hone. Instead of versus your traditional one here. Yeah, do it. There we go. Okay. This is more of a traditional hone. Okay. Which puts pressure on the outside cylinder walls. So it's a little bit of a, I don't know what you want to call it, spring-loaded, sits on the cylinder walls. Then you have to put on a drill and go back and forth into the jug, okay? That will give you your marks. Your, it scratches the inside of the cylinders, which what you want to look for is a cross cut. So you got little X's going down. This does that just perfectly. Gives you the perfect wall to seat your rings in. Okay? These things are amazing. I love these things. And I have the one for this somewhere. I know where it's at. It's in my truck. But yes, I'll be running one of these through that. Get a nice good cross cut for the seating of the rings and the oil. Yeah, it helps out the seating of the rings very well. Unlike this, you can create that with this, but you have to know what you're doing when you go in and out of the, or in back and forth into the cylinder. Not a bad tool. They're not a bad tool. It's just that you have to learn how to use it. It's not for a beginner could pick up one of these and do it. It's really not that bad once you figure out what you're doing. Okay. Now, I want to go over something with you real quick before we go. Do not turn your Dremel up too high. I accidentally went too high. That's what happens when you put earbuds in. You can't hear the RPM of your Dremel. Now, I bent my favorite tooling. So what happens, the RPMs get too high, and as you can see, this is heavier than the shank right? Well, the shank was out further so I can reach into that cylinder better. I turned it up too high, and now it wobbles. So I bent the shaft, bent the shank here because too high of RPMs. Get used to that because it happens. Unfortunately, I do not have another one of these, so I have to get another one. And that was my favorite one. So I had to improvise, adapt, and overcome, and use a similar profile tooling. That's okay. No big deal. It got done. It's perfect. I love how it turned out. I'm very happy with it. I hope y'all enjoy the video. And that will be it for now. Until we get into, I'll show you a little bit of the polishing, what it does with that green, I don't know what you want to call them. Kind of like a sanding tool. Kind of like a drum sander that you put on a Dremel. It's kind of like that. So, alright folks, I will see you on the next one. I hope you're all doing good. Be safe, be kind, and please spread the love. Let's do it. I'll see you on the next one.